We're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Reiki podcast. This is episode 3, Money Talks. My name is Ryda.
Hi, I'm Kim. Welcome.
Good to see you guys. So, we just wanted to start off this pod by talking about our week and, just filling you in on the festivities that have happened this week. So, how was your week, Kim? What were you up to this week?
Well, so this week was extremely magical. This background behind me is actually a picture that I took the night of the full moon. It was about, probably 1 o'clock in the morning. And I was outside, and there was this beautiful, like, cloud cover over the moon, and so that was just, it was magical. First of all, magical. But it was also extremely meditative, and I um went into a meditative state, but I was actually in holding space for Reiki, and it started with just like the neighborhood, and then I felt it expand, and by the time I had felt like I expanded all the way out, I literally felt like I was just giving Reiki to the earth that night, our entire planet, and it was truly the most amazing experience that I think I've had so far. So, what about you?
Yeah, that's interesting looking back that you say that because we just want to send love and all of our love and support to the fires that have been happening in Spokane. And so I thought about that and how you said you were sending Reiki to the world this week. And so, yeah, you probably felt a need for that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, a
it
good week. I
yes.
went horseback riding. That was really fun. And I always love that. And it was nice to be able to run with the horse and go with a friend because usually I'll just run by myself. So yeah, that was really fun. And then I had my own Reiki session, which was nice. I just need to like continue to get Reiki for preventative care, with my cancer and everything. I just want to make sure that I'm being preventative and staying on it.
That's
And
a
just yeah,
beautiful
it's been a
segue
beautiful.
into some really exciting news that we got this week.
Yes, yes. So things have been flowing a lot, and good things have been coming in, and meeting a lot of really cool people and making good connections. So I felt super grateful this week, and I had like one of the best days of the year, I feel like. So that was this week. So it was a really good week, and I think August is just gonna be awesome. So
Yeah.
um, good morning, Jagdish.
Good
Good morning
morning.
to you. It's evening for us,
Um,
but thank you for tuning in.
we got some very cool news this week. We have an opportunity to join a local cancer care practice to
Mhm.
where we live. And we're going to do Reiki pop ups there a couple days a month. And we're really, really excited for this opportunity because medical Reiki is something that is so important to both you and I, and something that we've really wanted to do with our practice is to get Reiki into the hospitals and the cancer wards and the chemo wards, and just really start. We know the benefits of Reiki, right? We live them every day. You live them, I live them. And we are starting to see the research that comes with the medical benefits, not just the, spiritual, but the actual proof of how the body is in fact is impacted by Reiki energy healing. So it's really
Yeah.
exciting. Just like so thrilled about it.
Yeah, like so we're starting to track people's pain levels before and after session. And I mean, we always ask, but now we're officially tracking. So I think that will be helpful for us just in our research. And I thought about like, you know, this has been coming up, like the things that we've done in the past that were like, why did, or I think about how my students are like, why am I taking this class? Or why are you making me do this? And it's like, you don't know
Mhm.
until like years later, but I took like this research methods class. I think it was just my bachelor's, and I remember hating it and feeling like I don't like research, and then I just figured that I would need it someday. So I think about now like how I'm utilizing all those components of research methods.
Mhm.
What's up? How you doing, Eliezer? Elizer? Hopefully I'm saying your name correctly. Welcome, y'all.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us. We're just chit chatting right now about the really cool stuff that's happened this week. So if there's anything you'd love to put in the chat to share with us about your week, we'd love to hear what's going on with all of you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So yeah, you were saying that we're starting our pop up. This is the first step to getting into medical, and we would like to get medical Reiki certified. So if anybody else is interested in that, and then we go through it, obviously we would love to share like
Or if you have somebody you
ideas
can
of other people.
recommend, yeah,
Yeah.
if there's somebody out there that you recommend that we could do
Yes.
the training through, let us know that too.
We are looking for medical Reiki trainers for ourselves. And so just to have as a resource. So we love to be like a wealth of resource as much as we can for other people. So our newsletter is also coming out tonight, tomorrow. And so look out for that. And that will have all of our updates. Also, there's a lot of updates this month. Um,
Yeah.
it all kind of started flooding in towards the end of the month, I feel like more so. But yes, I'm super excited about this being at the cancer care because it's holistic care. So I also am getting treatment there and just preventative care and so lifestyle and things like that. It was really helpful. And I'm new to getting cancer care, but I just opted out of the Western care. And yeah, so there's a question that asks if we teach astral projection. That's something I do want to learn. I don't know about you, Kim, but I don't know if you have any experience with that. I think maybe you might have a little bit.
Yeah,
Walk us through.
actually, I do have some experience with it, enough to teach it. I don't know about that, but I have had my own personal experiences of astral traveling and connecting with energies, remotely. Um, but I usually do mine with I have a couple people that I follow on YouTube that will do guided like astral travel meditations. So that's one thing I could recommend if you wanted to kind of figure out more about it. But yeah, no, I that's something that is fascinating to me too. Have
Yeah,
you have
great. Um,
yeah, have you actually experienced astral projection yourself?
yeah, DK vision. I want to learn. Is that the same as lucid dreaming and remote viewing?
Okay, so yeah, so lucid dreaming and remote viewing. Lucid dreaming is astral projection. Yes, those align. Remote viewing is a little bit different. And what I understand about remote viewing is that the person who travels goes to like specific a specific place, a specific person, and connects to their energy and like goes through their life as it's happening right now. And that's a little bit different than actually astral projection. Is at least that's how I understand it. What about you, Rita?
Well, I just think of the movie Behind Her Eyes. Have you seen that DK Vision? Behind Her Eyes is a cool astral projection movie. But yeah, for me, as much as I've experienced it, is like feeling like I'm watching myself sleeping or feeling like I'm like watching my dreams all night. So I think I'm getting there and I would like to, you know,
Mm,
just heighten those like techniques to be able to do that. But yeah, watch that. It's on Netflix. And what I learned from that is just like, when you astral project, you have to know, you have to have been there before. So say I wanted to astral project um like I'm sleeping and I want to go to Kim's house or spy on her, see what she's doing, which I feel like you shouldn't use it for, but like I had to have been there before, right? So in this movie, it shows that like, you know, this girl like trying like finding her way over to this other girl's house so that she could go spy on her, but you have to be able to like visualize the place and then so you do your astral projecting and you visualize the place and then you can like be there and be like basically a fly there.
right.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's actually one of my favorite movies. Question.
I was just looking up Darius on YouTube to see if that was somebody that I recognized.
You do, okay. I'm gonna write
No,
that
I'm
down.
just looking it up right now to see. Um, Darius. Darius. Is it Darius Wright? Does that sound right? Does that sound right?
IT Darius.
Oh yeah. No, I don't recognize this one. What do you think of Darius DK? Hmm. He has really cool hair.
I'll have to look him up and listen to that. So
He has a oh, he has a Jason Momoa vibe.
I don't know why I didn't. What did I watch? Why I didn't? Was it? It was Chief of War, and I don't know why I didn't love him in that.
Oh my gosh, you don't love him? You
No,
wait, you don't love him?
no. I think it's not because he's racially ambiguous. I don't know what it was that bothered me.
Oh, I really like, I mean, yes, he's handsome. Yes, he has a beefy body, but I really like his personality. I really feel like his
He grew on me.
personality
He
comes
grew on
through
me
in
though.
his
Chief of War was
Mhm.
really good. I liked it. I don't know
So,
why. It was
yeah,
something. Yeah,
he just
something
seems very
triggered me.
playful and young. I like that. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I do. I love playful.
He
Okay,
says, okay,
so
so Darius, right? He says we are in a creation. Okay. He does out of body experience. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Thanks for the tip.
yeah,
I'll
that's
check
cool.
out
We'll
some
check it
of his
out. Thank
stuff here.
you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
So yeah, we also wanted to talk about like so during Reiki sessions and like projections that we might have as practitioners during Reiki sessions. It just has kind of come up and I think it's an important topic and to notice both on giving and receiving end is when you're giving Reiki, you as a practitioner, it's important to make sure that the messages that you're delivering are not your projections of your own stuff, right? Sometimes it feels the same or relatable, and then the lines get really fuzzy, and then we start like giving people messages that are really kind of messages for ourselves, you know? So it's just something we wanted to be mindful of and for ourselves and on both ends, and it's important for you to give that feedback to us as practitioners too, if you feel that. Um, we always want to grow. A good practitioner is always open to feedback, you know?
Mm. We have a question. What is Reiki?
Mm, very good question.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Would
Oh, go ahead.
you
Yeah. I feel
would
like
you
I was
like
just listening. What's that?
that? We're both looking at each other like, okay.
I just didn't want to take up all that. I feel like I was just taking up the airtime. So,
No, you're cool.
mhm.
So Reiki is universal healing energy. It's Ray is universal love and light, which is us, and Ki is energy. So it's our own personal healing energy, and it's the energy of the universe because we are all made up of energy, atoms, molecules, energy, right? So what Reiki is it's an ancient Japanese practice by a gentleman named last name is Usui, and Usui Reiki is probably the most common Reiki. There have been other branches of it since, but he started teaching it when he had a spiritual experience. He had become very ill and had this almost like his awakening started, and he was calling in this like energy to heal, and he healed from this ailment that he had through this experience. And so he started teaching it and started getting other master or teachers, and um, fast forward, they brought it to America by a person named Madame Takate, who came from Hawaii, and she then has started attuning people here in the States. And so it's been around for a really long time. The one thing that I always like to say about Reiki is that it's like a massage for your nervous system. And so, really, what we're doing is we're helping people come from the sympathetic nervous system of that act and react and stress and just this constant to your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and your restore and your calm and your balance. Once your nervous system and your lymphatic systems and everything are in balance, then our body has this very incredible ability to heal itself. And that's when we're in balance and things are moving around the way they're supposed to. That's when we start to see the physical healing that happens from Reiki. How's that? What would you
Amazing.
add to that?
Thank you for going first. I would say would say it's energy healing, you know, we're moving the chi in our body and clearing just clearing the blockages, all the stress and everything we have builds up in our bodies and we store it in different parts. And you know, it turns into sickness, ailments, and even to like bigger diseases, right? And we don't realize it starts from just like a worry. And
Mhm.
so Reiki helps to like clear all that. And it's like unclogging pipes, right? And then so as you clear your pipes, clear your pathways, like your cells repair, you know, same way that they repair from sound baths and on a cellular level, you know? So it's really amazing. Yeah. So, so yeah, that's what Reiki is. Good question. But it's you can try it on yourself, and we give sample Reiki sessions here during our pod, and then also we're gonna do some lives where we're just gonna give Reiki and answer questions and just hang out. So tune in.
For sure.
Fasting? Yes, there's a question about fasting that actually, I actually did a
Mhm.
60-day juice cleanse before, and that was amazing. If you ever have questions on that, it's really hard to find like a juicing mentor or a coach, and I had to do it all myself. So, yeah, I'd be happy to talk about that. But fasting helps for me. Fasting right now is helping to reduce inflammation. So, that's like good preventative care for cancer treatment, you know, is preventing inflammation. So it helps like reset and then helps your cells like repair. So fasting is great. I would say 3 to 5 days, maybe, every month or couple months. It kind of just depends on your body.
Good question.
Mhm.
What did you experience, like emotionally or spiritually, or when you went through this cleanse that you did?
Oh yeah, it was amazing. It felt like I don't know how to describe it, but it felt like enlightened. So I guess you could say you felt like godly, I guess, for lack of a better word. But
Mhm.
like I kept wanting to go higher and higher, like it was addicting. So I tried to just get cleaner and cleaner. Like I was doing fruits and veggies, and then I was like, oh, maybe I can take out the fruit and just do veggies, and then get like feel super like elevated, and you just feel like clear, powerful. Like, I guess I wasn't really on this same spiritual journey and like tuned in like I am now. So I'm always like curious what it'd be like now. But it's just hard to do that twice. It was kind of like, it's never the same when you do it the first time. It was just
Mhm.
like really meant to be at that time. So yeah, it's very enlightening. You feel powerful. You feel all your senses are heightened. So everything you do is like feels extra, like, everything. So
Wow.
yeah, it's amazing. Like it's an experience you have to go through. It's like you're like purifying yourself again. Yeah, it's
That's
indescribable.
super cool. That is really, really cool. I don't know that I've ever heard you share that with me,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
heard you share that story.
How was
Hmm.
your fast, DK? You said you did a 3-day water fast. Yeah, gained clear eye vision. Totally. Isn't it crazy? Yeah.
Really?
Mhm. Just resetting everything. Yeah. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
amazing. I totally recommend doing it. And then there's all different types, and then it resets like your liver, like which, it's like flushing out all the toxins and it helps you to clear your liver so that it can, do a better job of like filtering everything out.
Somebody was telling me very recently, in fact, just this weekend, that they fast 1 day a week.
Mhm.
And during that fast, the only thing that they have is black coffee if they're going to have something with flavor, and
Mhm.
salt water. They drink salt water. And I was like, what? And
Yeah.
they said that it's really, it like really like cleans everything out,
Yes.
and it makes you
Yes.
feel hydrated, and it makes you feel like satisfied. And
Yeah.
so I was like thinking that's kind of interesting. I don't know if
Yeah. It's like the
I
salts.
could commit to it, but it's kind of interesting.
It's just one day. Yeah. Like it's a good idea. Yeah. That's a good like once a week. Yeah. It's the probably like their body needs it right now, so it just depends. Yeah. Black coffee and salt water. That's what DK did. Interesting. I can't do coffee because I have an intolerance, but I could see the salt water.
Okay. Okay. So
I
DK, when you
am
did the
Buddhist.
salt water, did how did that taste? Was it like pretty gross? I mean, it's like drinking ocean water.
I know, right? I sometimes when I gargle salt, it tastes funny to even swallow it, but there must be like maybe it's not like a super salty mixture.
Mm.
But VM
Um,
bro,
yeah.
Buddhist. The question was, am I Hindu? I'm Buddhist, but this is like I just think it's cute and it represents my third eye. But Buddhism and Hinduism is similar.
What do you
So
know the
yeah,
difference between Buddhism and Hinduism?
what's that?
Do you know the difference between
The
like Buddhism and
differences. I'm not
Hinduism?
super familiar with all of Hinduism, but I know it's like similar, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So DK says you need salt water for
Yeah,
electrolytes.
electrolyte.
The
Yeah.
human body is a biological battery. That tracks. That makes sense. Thank you for sharing
Is
that.
like It's like liquid IV, you know, like when we drink those electrolytes or Gatorade or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like
yeah.
drinking salt. It's pretty much like drinking salt water.
Hmm. Interesting. I've gargled with salt water when you have a sore throat. Did you ever do that?
Yeah, I do. My mom always says
Yeah.
to do that. Yeah.
That's what my mom made me do it too as a child. So I still do it now.
Yeah.
100%.
So yeah, thanks for all the questions, guys. We wanted to transition to our other topic of partnership. Um, a lot of we get that question a lot is how did we find partnership in each other?
Mm.
So yeah. Do
Yeah, it
you
was
want to
pretty special.
share
I
it?
mean, it's a very special journey, I think. We met about a year ago, maybe a little bit more than a year ago. But we met at a local Reiki share in our city. And the first time that we met, we had gone around the circle and everybody was kind of just telling a little bit about their story and, what kind of why do they do Reiki or what brought them to Reiki and whatever. And so as Rita was sharing her story, it felt very aligned to um, where I was in my personal life, in my awakening journey, in my ascension. I thought, wow, we could probably really support each other through this type of whatever is going on because it was a little confusing at the time that it was happening to me. Um, and so we just kept talking and we would bump into each other at Reiki shares or whatever. And then I was having coffee with a mutual friend of ours one day and talking to him about my business. And that was this year, about January this year. And I said, I really feel like I want to do events and I really want to get out there and start really building this. And I said, I just don't really know how to do that. And he suggested that I talk to Rita. And I was like, that's a great idea. So I did. I reached out to you and asked if you wanted to have lunch and said that I wanted to talk to you about a potential um, opportunity. And we met over lunch. And I mean, everything just like kind of blossomed and blew up from there.
Yeah, so we didn't like we just started with one event, like Reiki shares. And so like everything I do, I don't really plan like this huge thing, right? So I think that was kind of vital, and like not feeling overwhelmed and just taking things one at a time. Because it's just I sometimes we get really big ideas and we want to, like to do these huge, like, which is amazing. But then, like, also we have to have a foundation. And so I like that we built like a foundation by starting with something we knew, kind of new, like we just were kind of new to Reiki shares, but we didn't felt like we could do it ourselves. And so, yeah, it just blossomed. I felt like, and our paths were aligned, just like everybody we meet. But certain people you meet, obviously you have a closer tie or whatever. You're meant to do certain things with certain people. So it's really interesting, all the people that we're meeting and everything that we're doing with everybody, all the different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that brings us to like our backgrounds. I don't know if everybody's familiar with our backgrounds, but kind of like our life before Reiki. I still am a teacher, a special education teacher, and I also do personal training. And but my main job is a teacher. And Kim was in the corporate world, so we wanted to talk a little bit about the difference in that and like maybe how we bring those the positive elements of our previous lives into our Reiki business and how it's helped us and how we balance each other out in that way. So yeah, Kim, maybe you can share a little bit about your life before Reiki or
Sure.
your work life. Yeah.
Yeah. So I officially found Reiki a couple of years ago. Um, but as a child, I was doing energy healing on myself, not knowing that it was Reiki. And that was one of my soothing mechanisms for, whatever chaos or traumas or whatever were happening, because God knows we all had traumas in our childhood, right? But so, but a couple of years ago, things had kind of come to a pretty significant head for me personally in my life. And I ended up meeting up with an energy healer and did some sessions with them. And that's really kind of what catapulted me into starting my career, and learning more about Reiki, and was for my personal healing journey, is how it came for me. Um, I had been in the corporate world for over 30 years, and I had started, at the bottom and worked up to senior management. And um, I was, supervising people who were taking care of people's money. And that's a very emotional state of being when you're talking about people's money, right? It's very personal. Um, and so while it was, I always found the rewarding part of it was working with the people, like training and the mentoring and the helping people grow and seeing them, like, prosper. And so that was truly what was kind of, I think, like, I can connect to what we're doing now, right? Is that I was helping people from a distance before by helping manage their money, but now I'm where I'm meant to be for my soul, is helping people very personally, by holding space with Reiki and them.
Did you feel like something was missing while you were in the corporate world?
Yes, very much so. It was incredibly stressful, and I felt incredibly stifled. And you just kind of like disconnect. We are sleeping through life, really, right? And it was there were there was a lot of animosity, and there was a lot of, like, I don't know, it just always felt like there was something missing. I felt like unfulfilled. I was seeking outside of me because I hadn't really come back to myself. And so that's when I started my personal journey, was to find my way back to myself. And through that, I've learned that really, if you can follow your passion, that's the best way to go. Yeah.
So you met your mentor and then he introduced you to he was your Reiki master, right? So he
Yeah, yeah. Well, and my mentor, he is an energy healer, and he's incredible at what he does. But I actually had a conversation with him this past week, which is so ironic. Here's something else really cool that happened this past week. Is we have a circle that we do monthly, right? Where we come together and we kind of just talk about life and how we kind of go through life with each other. And the question that we had talked about in our last group, remember, was, is there somebody who's had a great impact on your life that you haven't thanked, that you feel like you should? And that night when we were talking about it, I felt like it was myself. So I talked about myself that evening. But as I reflected on that, I started thinking about my mentor. His name is Leon. And I felt very strongly that I wanted to reach out to Leon and just thank him, because I truly feel like where I was in my life, he was instrumental in saving it and getting me
yeah.
set on my path and on my journey. And I just have so much gratitude for that.
I want to ask you, I want to ask you a question, but I want to go to these questions first. My question
Yes,
for you
let's do it.
was, how did you meet him? But let me go to their question was to
Yeah.
you is you talked about your awakening. What do you mean since you left the corporate world? I keep hearing people saying they're waking up. So yes, DK a lot like the world is shifting, right? It's like people are waking up. So it's like you're choosing either like the honestly like a spiritual love yourself side or just like whatever else, the chaos and the craziness or all that, right? So it's like you're either tapping into yourself and self love and shifting the earth towards positive, or you're, I don't know, not. I really don't know what other people are doing, but it's just like split into two, right? I just know it's either like yes for self love or no, you know. My
From my
question for you.
perspective, and I think that's really great explanation. From my perspective, I would add that when we go through our awakening, that's kind of when we start to go inward and deal with the shadows that we haven't wanted to look at or process, or we become very much more aware of what is going on around us versus our faces in the phone, or distracted by the shiny objects, or the drama in the llama of government, and whatever it is, right? um, you become more aware of that bird that's sitting on your fence that's really just observing you, and you think, wow, that is like super cool that we are connecting right now. These energies are connecting. So as you start to awaken, your mind shifts from this mindset of scarcity and material, and what we are being forced down our throats by people talking, right? And you start to listen to yourself and follow your own intuition and start to trust what's going on for you. That's my perspective anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like maybe DK, do you feel like you're waking up or going through an ascension? Um, an ascension can look like different things, but some of the symptoms are like not being able to sleep, waking up in the middle of the night, not feeling hungry, feeling extra hungry, getting downloads or messages, visions, heightened sensations. But basically, yeah, you're getting clarity. Um, you're getting clarity on like just inner knowing, right? So and it's hard to describe, but yeah, it's different for everybody. But basically, you find your purpose, you find your authenticity once you learn to love yourself and just learn who you are. Then it's like you start learning like what your gifts are. Like we found Reiki, right? So we know that one of our purposes is like um, to help like heal or give people relief or however you want to look at Reiki, um, help people relax, at the very least. So it's like, and it's great to feel like you have a purpose and like to know why you're here and just I don't know, like an awakening is also you remembering like your past. Like for me, it was like I realized that past lives are really real and that like our soul lives on forever. So that was like huge to me, to basically realize that we're spiritual beings and not just human. So like when you just feel human, you're just walking, going through life, working to live and not or like living to work or whatever. And you're just going through life and then waiting for it to end basically. But then when you're awakened you just feel like more alive and you feel like you have a purpose, you know why you're here, what your mission is in this lifetime, and then you just go towards it. So to me that's what like an awakening is like finding who you are and who your purpose is. and just learning
So
about, yeah, you.
I just did a search on what is ascension in spirituality. And it is the gradual process of expanding your consciousness, shifting your awareness, and rising to a higher energetic vibration, which is what we're kind of describing, right?
Mhm.
Core aspects are your higher consciousness, so you're moving past that autopilot perception that you were describing, and you start to realize a deeper sense of universal connection and oneness. You do the inner healing where you're facing like personal emotional shadows, processing old traumas, and releasing heavy feelings like fear, anger, or guilt. And then you also have like that ego shift, right? Where you're allowing the ego to take a backseat to that compassionate higher self, which then starts to guide your daily life. Um, Common things that cause these ascensions, triggers, or whatever are sparked generally by late, like major life challenges, deep inner reflection, or a sudden awakening event. Maybe something super traumatic. Like I have actually heard of people who they might say like they're born again, right? They have a near death experience, they're in a traumatic airplane crash or whatever, something very, very traumatic, and they have like an immediate awakening, right? Their whole world just shifts in that moment, and they'll never go back to whoever they were prior to that.
Yeah. Yes, near death. Yeah, that's a common thing too. That's why it was interesting for me because I didn't almost die, I guess. I mean, like when I had my car accident and did my juice cleanse, I feel like that was a kind of a near death. I got totaled, my car got totaled and I was T-boned. And I learned that we give ourselves exit strategies, like, or not exit
Mhm.
strategies, but like exits options or
Mhm.
whatever, opportunities
Mhm.
in life, like
Checkout
before
points.
we're,
Yep.
yeah. So it's like if you want to check out here, you can, you know. So like a lot of people
Yeah.
who are
Tap
like,
out.
yeah, a lot of people describe
Yo,
that, right? I almost
yo,
died. Like,
universe, source. Yep, I'm tapping out. Yep.
I mean, we're all spiritual. We're all spiritual, right? But like the people who are like, who know that they have gifts and whatnot. Two things I noticed is that they were born, had a hard time coming into this world, that like weren't breathing when they came in, or like I had ear infection for 6 months and my mom didn't know what the hell was wrong with me. And so stuff like that. Like, and then also, yeah, they almost died like maybe once or more than once, right? So those two things I feel like really heighten your spirituality and your.
Hmm. But on a more basic level, which is really how my awakening happened, is very much life traumas, right? I was in a marriage to a person who had an addiction. And, if you have ever had to live with somebody who's in addiction, it's an incredibly painful journey. And there was a lot of that went into all of that. So I had just become so traumatized and so desensitized and so like separated from my body. I had like no feeling. I didn't feel joy, I didn't feel anger, I was just numb. And I remember in my therapist's office, I said, I would just like to feel something.
Yeah.
I don't even care what it is at this point. I just would like to feel something. Um,
That's why people do crazy stuff.
yes, and so that's really kind of when my awakening started happening, is as I started to dive into what I had moshed down for so many years, well beyond that marriage. I mean, back to childhood, right? Back to other lives before I ever came here. I mean, there was just stuff that I've carried. And so that's truly what kind of started my journey for me. So there's so many variables that can happen for people.
Yes, I guess for me, how it started was just starting to remember like people and recognizing people and meeting people from my past life. And then some of the um, connections were so strong that I had to look them up and be like, what's happening to me right now? You know, and
Mhm.
what's happening with this, like these people that I'm meeting. And so it made me, I started remembering past trauma, past lives, past connections. And that's how it all started for me. And then just crazy stuff was just happening and just things that sound like they wouldn't they wouldn't be real. Um, so yeah, we can always share those stories throughout our pod, but that was how it started. It's like remembering, and that's part of waking up is remembering who you are and who you were in a past life, like I remember having this dream that like was like a vision of past trauma that carried over to this life, and I just woke up bawling, and I just knew that that was like a vision of I was shown like what had happened to me in a past life, and so things like that were happening, and just like crazy synchronicities and heightened intuition, heightened downloads. You just feel like you're just like on fire, and like it's just like you can feel like quote unquote crazy or whatever, right? But you just have to stay grounded, and it helps to be around people who are going through the same thing so you don't feel crazy. Like you said, DK, like people are waking up. That's what it means. It's like they're going through this like crazy journey, and their life is probably turning upside down, and they're just transforming, like literally on a cellular level, becoming
Right.
different, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's always an
so
interesting conversation, isn't it? An interesting topic.
very, yeah. And we're always down to like get into that. But I guess we could go back on track and go back to we were talking about our corporate world versus teaching world. So you shared a little bit about your corporate world. Let us know if you guys have any other questions. We were also answering your questions. But so for me, the teaching world, I felt pretty connected to that. It's pretty like I feel like it was a way that I could give and learn. I feel like I'm naturally a teacher, and so it was pretty fitting. I was resistant to becoming a teacher because I just didn't want to do extra school. And so I know sometimes people say cancers get stuck, and I guess that's a good example of how we don't like change, and sometimes like we don't want to go through big things. But it's just like a big hurdle. So I had to go through it, and I didn't want to be like a weak link in my marriage at the time, and like be the one who like was holding, us back from like traveling and being able to have the life that we wanted to. So I would that helped me ascend and get my teaching license, and yeah, it allowed me to work remote and just have a beautiful life. Um but yeah, I feel teaching is something I always want to do. So it's not so different. I feel like it's a little different because you're in the education system, and dealing with that is similar. Like the admin feels like they're like corporate. So it's kind of us against them a little bit as teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
I think having my corporate background, though, it has been helpful because this is my Reiki business is the very first entrepreneurial adventure that I've experienced for myself.
mhm.
And so I didn't know anything out the gate. And where I started with Reiki, my vision has completely shifted, and even in the last like 6 months, I would say for sure.
Yeah.
But I do feel like from the corporate side of things, um, it's helped our business because you actually said
Mhm.
something earlier that really resonated with me that Dad and I were actually talking about today. Is it's like we balance each other so well because you're the big big ideas person. I mean, and you're like, go big or go home. And I'm like, oh, yeah, let's do that. But wait, we need a list. We got to figure this out and we got to take it one step at a time. And so, where you like dream big for us, I kind of help to keep us grounded into, okay, yes, let's do that. But how do we get there?
Yeah.
And I think that's really important to point out in our partnership and why it works so well for us
Yes.
because we have such respect for each other and really truly love and want each other to have the best life possible. And um, so that I think it's important that if you can have that kind of connection with your partnership.
Yeah, I always say it has to be, it's like personality too. It's like the rest of it is like it matters, but like if you don't like your partner, like that's not gonna work, you know? So I
Right.
think, yeah, I'm just like a lot of people who've come into my life, I'm just always like shocked at how aligned we are. And like, it's like, I don't know, I'm just like, do other people this blessed to have like these connections? But, I think it just shows that like when you just like, you focus on you and you figure out who you are and what you want, and then the other things just start piecing together and lining up, and
Hmm.
it feels good, and it feels like meant to be and destined, but yeah, always definitely about personality when you're choosing somebody to work with and making sure you get along. And like, I don't know, you don't want to.
Looks like you kind of cut out for a minute. So the other thing that I would say, while we're waiting for Rita to come back, oh, there you
My
are.
phone just started like asking me to restart update. That was weird.
Um, yeah, I think the I lost my thought. You gotta
Yeah,
love life, right?
we were just talking about our how we have to like each other like as a partner. But yeah, I
Well, you
think
don't
we
have to, but it's definitely a benefit.
if you start off hating each other, maybe it's like, yeah, maybe your connection and your whatever is just intense and whatever, but I don't like you don't need like it doesn't have to be. It's nice that it just felt natural and easy, I
Yeah.
know the good things can be hard, but also good things can be easy and natural. And but I think what really helps and is that we just honor each other's ideas, and we don't really say no. Like, I was so used to just ideas being shut down and or just being like, no, why don't we do it this way instead? And it's like, I think people are used to that too. And from what I've heard, and it's like it's rare that people will just be like, yeah, sure, let's try that. And that flexibility, I think, goes super long ways, and it also opens opportunities. It's like planning on a trip. It's like when you make plans, you shut the doors for all these unknown things to happen because you're like, I'm gonna go do these three things, and it's like if you don't plan, like all these other things can happen. So
Mhm.
it's pretty cool to see.
And we've definitely had hiccups along the way. I
Yeah.
mean, okay, let's talk about the webinar. Could we talk about the webinar for just a moment? Our
It's
very
funny.
first online experience.
Yeah,
So,
I guess that was something that was really out of our control, and like, yeah, how we handled it.
well, and that just shows the flexibility, right? So,
Yeah.
to set the stage, we decided we were going to do this webinar about the benefits of Reiki and how it affects like your nervous system, and it's a great webinar, and we kept saying we were going to record it, which we really need to go back and do that. Um, but during this webinar, we had slides, really great slides that we put together, and we had our notes, and we were hopping along, and all of a sudden, we start seeing these like marks across the screen, and they're like green scribbles that just randomly start in the corner. and it's just enough to be distracting, right? Just enough to be like, wait, what is going on here? Um, so that kind of started it, and then it just we moved past it. We kind of laughed about it and moved past it and just kept going, rolling with it, right? And then and then what was it? Not like 3 slides later, right? All of a sudden the whole screen gets this green like crayon scribbles all over it. And we're like,
God,
wait,
yeah.
what is happening here?
It was a test
Spirit
for sure.
was with us. Spirit wanted to make presence known that yes, it was. Let's really challenge you guys and see what you're made of here. Let's see. Let's have you walk your walk or talk your walk. What is it going to be? So, but we just kind of rolled with it, and what can you do, right? What
Yeah,
can you
but
do?
yeah, that was pretty telling of like our partnership because I guess, people could have freaked out or whatever, but we just thought it was funny and I love that we could laugh through everything. And that's super my style. So yeah, you just gotta be flexible and not rigid. I feel like the rigid rigidity and like control and all that like has to go out the window, when you're working with somebody else. And it's also like, yeah, it's super beneficial, but it keeps you on your toes because there's like a second person, and even when we go out and do stuff, like you always got to think there's another person, like, and then yeah, it also that reflects on self-love. It's also like, well, I wouldn't do this if it was just me, but since there's another person, like
Right,
I could also care this much for myself too. But since we're not there yet, it's just nice to have that other person to just be like, well, I'm not only representing myself, right? I'm representing my partner, and I can't f up.
right,
So I
right.
think that
That
keeps that
accountability, I
accountability.
think, is it's huge. Accountability is huge. I mean, we're
Yeah,
very accountable to each other, and I think we're very accountable to ourselves too, which I believe is very important as well. Because we
yeah,
don't want to let each other down, but we really don't want to let ourselves down either, because we're
yeah,
building
exactly.
something so really cool here, that I don't want it to end. I just want to see it grow more and more.
Yeah, I just think it's like I just think it's easier to mess up when you're because we say we love ourselves and we do, but then there's times where we don't always like treat ourselves as good as we should or give ourselves the respect we should. So I love how it's like, yeah, it's like it's you like we always say, sometimes it feels like we're one person, but it's
Yes,
like I don't know, I kind of lost it, but I was just thinking like I don't know, yeah, like because when you're by yourself, you're like, oh, you just do things and then you I don't know, it looks bad on you, but you're like, well, it's just me and it's just a bit different. So I appreciate having somebody else to like keep you on your toes. And I think that's a cool part about
but
partnership.
it's
And
important to
also,
catch each other, right? Because
yeah,
there are times that we have to like kind of catch each other
yes.
and be there to
Mhm.
like, because I'm not going to let you fall, and I know you're not going to let me fall, and so there's that. You got to have each other's back, and it's like a marriage, honestly.
Mhm.
And we
Yes.
laugh all the time. I'm like, if we didn't have to, take it further, I would marry you, right? But
Yes. We both thought about this.
we're like, yeah,
I
but
think we were married in a past life or something.
and we have through Reiki, right? Because we do trade Reiki with each other. We've had where we've seen past lives of
Yeah,
us
definitely we
together.
know we've had past lives, but sometimes, yeah, it very much is like a marriage. And but it's like,
Hello,
yeah,
Elliot.
I
Elliot,
know. What's up, Elliot? How you
hello.
doing?
What's up,
Thank you for
friend?
joining us.
Yes, thank you.
You found us
Welcome.
on your own.
Yes.
Welcome, friend.
It's so good to see you. So Elliot is with us, and Elliot has come to us in such a really cool way. He is very much a friend of ours now, but when we first met Elliot, it was through we were substituting Reiki for a sound bath. The Reiki person had called in sick or whatever, so we subbed, and that's where we connected. And then he started coming to some of our events, and true to what we're talking about right now in flexibility and running with ideas, Rita and I had talked very recently about expanding, right? Because we're pretty much mobile Reiki practitioners. We there's not very many places that we won't go to do Reiki, and Elliot is a great example. He had a celebration at a ranch for his birthday in, I think it was June. And we came and celebrated his birthday with him and gave him Reiki and gave Reiki to the people that were at his birthday party. So there you go. He's helping us expand ourselves as well. So welcome, welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, we love the people we've met. It's amazing. Like when you remove the toxicity and the people who are just not enhancing your life. Sometimes like we're just giving and giving and we wait for people to give back, but we realize they're not helping us. And so when we remove those people, we make room for more beautiful people that do like bring positivity and uplift our lives, So yeah, it's amazing to watch. But yes, Elliot, you say you've been talking about past lives, and that's what we were talking about. Is
You did join right at
yeah,
the
I
right
was saying,
time.
yeah, I
Nothing
don't know if
happens
you
by
were here.
chance.
What's that? What's that?
I said nothing happens by chance. You
I
came
know,
in
yeah.
exactly at the time you were supposed to come.
So Elliot, do you feel like a lot of people you meet, I feel like everybody I meet is a past life person. Like for example, I'll give a story. I think we always want to respect confidentiality and things like that and not make people feel like, I don't know, we're sharing their stories. But I met somebody, I got jewelry from somebody and then as a gift. And then there was a card. And I was like, I don't know. Initially, I didn't even notice it was a card. I thought it was just like the paper that came with it, the jewelry. So I was going to throw it away. And then I was like, oh, this card has, like, I don't know, I don't want to throw this away. And then I noticed it was a nice, cute card. So I kept it, and then I ended up meeting that person who sold the jewelry, and we connected and felt like we've known each other for a long time. So it's like so funny, like how people's cards can have energy, and you just can just be connected through crazy ways, find each other. So I love that. But
Elliot, do you have any past life experiences that you want to share with us? I had um
mm,
I had a past life experience with my dog.
oh yeah, that was
I
cool.
would love to share that story. That's kind of a fun story. So anyone who knows me for a minute knows that my little dog Willie is the absolute love of my life. And she very much came to me specifically for a reason. Literally adopted her, saved her out of a drug house. And there was like a bit of a puppy mill going on. So she had a pretty rough life early on, but I got her young. But she and I've always been really connected. And so earlier this year, I was in meditation and she was laying on top of me, and our energies connected. And during our connection, I was shown that she in another life was my mother, my like physical humanoid type mother. And at birth, she didn't make it. So when I was born, she passed. So we didn't have the opportunity to have that life together. And that's something that needed to be healed for both of us because it was really traumatic for both of us. And so, fast forward, she's here now and she has saved my life and she is really protective of me and she's very maternal like with me. But it's nice now that we've had this opportunity to experience that bond in a different way, right? In a way that we could both appreciate it, I think. So, yeah, that was kind of a cool past life thing that I saw.
Yeah, she is. Here's your mom. She definitely like stares at me.
And she when she stares at you, it's like she's looking through you. She's not looking at you, she's looking right down
Like a
into the
mom
heart.
would.
Yeah. And he's like, "Yes, for sure." Okay, so Elliot says, "For me, I'm realizing that people that feel like persons or peers are probably incarnate for a similar number of times." Oh, that's an interesting thought.
Mhm.
Huh. Wow. So, I'd actually like to hear more about what your thoughts are on that. A similar number of times. So if I'm reading this, it feels like you're saying that if if you and I have had some past lives together, that we've incarnated now, that we've maybe both have had like
Mm,
150,000 past lives or 10 past lives, or so we're in like a similar growth pattern maybe in our journey.
that's really cool.
So Elliot says, this week, Thursday, a past life came forward into my energy and started giving me information, a name, where they were from, where they died, and the injuries they suffered.
Wow.
That's super powerful.
Yeah.
Did you have any like physical reactions to this when it happened? I'm just curious, like, did you feel like any of the injuries that they had suffered, or I'm super fascinated about that. Okay, cool. Yes, a similar path.
Mm, that's super cool.
That is
Are you
super
writing it all
cool.
down? Yeah, I would write it down so you can like go back to it, and I'm sure you have.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. I haven't experienced something like that. Yeah, you're definitely going through like an ascension and a rapid ascension,
Mm-hmm.
sounds like.
Yeah,
Are
for
you
sure.
feeling like you're grounding yourself, and are you feeling balanced in your energy? How is all of it?
I'm sensing, and I don't know if it's, I don't know who I'm picking up, but I think it's Elliot that I'm picking up. I'm sensing that you're pretty like right here, pretty even, pretty grounded, pretty feeling pretty good. Is that right? Or am I picking up somebody else?
Yeah, that's nice to be grounded and like aware of what's happening while you're going through this ascension. Most times people are just blindsided and it feels chaotic,
It's
you know?
confusing, right? I mean,
Hmm.
ascension is very confusing, and there's so many things that are happening in ascension that physically, emotionally, mentally, that you start to question everything, and you're like, ah, ah.
Yeah. It's like
But
things
it's
are
really
happening.
beautiful. Hmm.
Yeah, it is. It's all about personal transformation and growth, you know? Things are happening to you, and
Yeah.
but they're happening for you, but they feel like they're happening to you.
Yes. Yeah. I'm sorry. He said, Elliot just said, I'm grounded now, but it was ungrounding at the time. Absolutely. Yes, it's so uncomfortable.
It was strange to experience a part of myself coming into myself. And although I asked for this when it happened, the various parts of my mind wanted to argue. Yeah, it's like be careful what you wish for, right? You ask for something, or even a long time ago, and you don't realize what it's like
Yeah.
when it comes true. And then you're like, oh my God, what's happening?
Yes.
So, yeah, that's really cool that you recognize that. And it's okay to like argue with it because you can argue with yourself. And you're also just human. So your human self coming into the other parts of your past self. I definitely feel that.
Yes. I that resonates. I'm constantly
Yeah.
arguing with walking the balance of the 3D world and walking the life of the 5D world that I'm escalating into, and
Mhm, mhm.
it's very unsettling. That's all you can say. It's not that it's bad, it's just it's uncomfortable because it's new and it's different and we don't recognize it. But it's not new. Here's the flip side of that, right? That kind of twist is we're just coming back to who we really are. We've known
Mhm.
who we really are. It's always been there. We're just now coming back to it. But it feels new because we've been asleep for so long.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they call it waking up because you're literally like a mummy or you're like frozen. So, and then also I've heard that sometimes people are frustrated about why they're older and they wake up when they're older. Like I feel like that. But it's like I heard that, like that sometimes it takes longer to wake up when you just like you've had a lot of past lives or you've had just like really powerful gifts. So it's just like you're put to sleep for longer because you got a lot of power and you got a lot going on. So it's like takes a longer time to wake up.
Well, and the other thing that I've read and people seem to feel about that topic is that we wake up exactly when our talents and our gifts are needed the most, and
Yeah, totally.
we this is where we are coming in to help the collective, right?
Yeah, that's exactly. I feel like that. Like I was called. Oh yeah, that brings me back to that question I had for you. Is like because I was called to do Reiki, but I just felt like getting attuned, and I was having dreams about my hands, and I had one experience getting Reiki during massage, and I just kept thinking back at it, and yeah, it was just weird to just want to get attuned out of nowhere without even like getting much Reiki at all. So and
Yeah.
not even knowing much about it. So yeah, my question for you, Kim, was like when you met your mentor, like how exactly did he ask you if you wanted a Reiki session and then you thought, how
Oh,
did that
yeah,
go?
I'll get to that in just a second. Let's just, I wanna catch up here a little bit. So, yes, DK, I am coming into remembrance, absolutely, and that's what I think awakening really is that we start to remember the true essence of who our soul is. So, yes, thank you. Uh, Joe's journal. Hi,
Oh,
Joe.
Joe.
Hi,
What's up, Joe?
welcome. Is that Joe?
It's Joe.
Joe? Like
Hmm.
Joe? Our Joe? Down
Hmm.
south Joe?
Yeah.
Joe, welcome. It's nice to finally see you here.
Yeah. I told Joe that I'm gonna bring him to our event so you can meet everybody soon.
Yes, we would love for you to come to our events for sure. Elliot says, I did hypnosis session today and my friend Sharon, with my friend Sharon, and we worked with the energy of that past self quite a bit to release it. Nice. So I imagine you're feeling pretty like tired tonight. After
Hmm.
that's a lot of work today. Yeah,
A
for
lot of
sure.
water.
Drink a lot of water. Um, like we say, right? Be kind to yourself. Don't lift a lot of extra heavy weights tonight, or don't get all aggressive with your vacuuming. I always say that.
No, Kim
Um,
says that. I don't.
I say that.
We
I
don't
say
say
that.
that.
I say that. Yes, don't get aggressive with your vacuuming or anything like that. Just let it all integrate in and work its way out.
That's
Uh,
so funny.
so the way that I met my mentor was actually I had decided to start my business, and I was still in the corporate world, and so I wanted to talk to people who I thought were doing what I wanted to do, and just kind of interview them, right, to see what they do, how they run their business, so that I could figure out how I wanted to set my business up. And so
Wait,
I
so
went on.
you already knew you wanted to do Reiki?
Well, I knew I wanted to do energy healing, And I
Okay.
yes, I did, and so Reiki was part of it, but I wasn't truly sure what that looked like at the time.
That
And
was, yeah, that's my question.
I did presume that, my person that I talked to was a Reiki person because the way it was
But
described sounded very Reiki-like.
but
Um,
how did you know you wanted to do energy healing, you know? Like, because I feel like that's a
oh,
big,
I get what you're saying now. Okay, yeah, I'm back on
yeah.
the bus and in my seat. I get it. Um,
But
I just felt like from my personal journey, it was so deeply healing. And I was diagnosed with a disease as well. And so I knew I was going to fight this disease with both Western medicine and Eastern medicine. And so, what Eastern medicine looked like to me was the energy healing and the meditation and the soul work that needed to be done. Um, and with Reiki, I found it brought me out of that stress place to where I really could start the healing. And I am healed from my disease, and so I feel very strongly that it is something that um, it was Reiki. It was Reiki, absolutely. Big
mhm.
part of that was Reiki and the medicines. So, yeah.
So you had Reiki sessions. Okay. What made you get Reiki? I mean, so far.
Well, so when I was talking to him initially, I was going to interview him, and he is just this good. And it was like so meant to be that within like 30 seconds of talking to him, I knew that I wanted to do some personal work with him. I didn't know
Mm,
what it looked like just yet. And our very first session, in fact, we've laughed about this. I've talked to him and we've laughed about it. Is was remote because Reiki is you can do it remote. You don't have to be sitting in front of somebody. But we talked literally for about 2 minutes on the phone. He's in California. I'm in Oregon, so
okay.
we've got some distance, right? And we talked for like 2 minutes on the phone. He told me kind of what was going to happen. And my only job was to get comfortable and be open to receiving. In fact, I think I still use that term today that is from him. And I felt the energy. I literally felt the energy when he was working on me move through my body. I felt the
Yeah.
tingles. I felt like everything starting to
It's
settle
like
out,
it's
the
one
release.
session.
Yeah, in one session. And so by
Mhm.
the 10th session, I was a completely different person. I would never ever be
Yeah.
that person I was again. And I just knew that's where I needed to be. And the more that I've done it and the more that I've connected with people and connected in this healing, this is just it's my heart. It's my
Yeah.
purpose. It's where I'm supposed to be.
So
Yeah.
that feeling that you're describing and pretty much you like changed your life. So that's why that's what we want to do as practitioners, as teachers, and as like leaders. I know that, yeah, that feeling is like as a teacher, that's what we live for, is like getting that
Yeah.
feedback, right? So that's
Yeah.
awesome that you got to tell him that, and thank him properly for the
Yeah.
influence that he had. But yeah, so the other topics that we wanted to talk about today was just like our experience of being who we are and how people kind of reacted to us our whole lives. It's kind of interesting, and maybe y'all can resonate with feeling different and whatnot, And then the other thing was the main thing, like the pod topic the title is called Money Talks. So we do all these events, and we got to charge people because we want to make a living out of this, just like doctors and lawyers and massage people do. So that's a hot topic, and that's going to be like our main topic, the highlight of our topic. But we've had a really good pod so far.
Yeah, it's been a great pod so far, and I think that it's something that it came up early on for us was the how much to charge, and how do you value what you're charging, and what are you doing for what you charge, right?
Mhm.
Um, and so we set our prices, and it was, I think, it was uncomfortable, right, at first to say this is what we're charging, but we had to think about we really are we're giving an experience. We're having an
Mhm.
experience with people. You know, it's not just a product that we're selling. It's not just a service that we're rendering. This is we are very much an experience. And yes, we want to touch as many souls as we possibly can with this experience. But in order to do that, we do need to have some income because we got to be able to have gas to get to the events, and all the
Mhm.
stuff that goes into it, right? So it was that shift in that mindset for us to say, no, we have to value ourselves because this is really important to us, and we need to be able to do this. So,
Mhm.
what's your feelings about that?
Yeah, I think about like I try to put myself in the shoes of like clients, and then some it's just like we try to mix things like prices and then giving things free. But like sometimes when you put no value on it, it's like you put no value on yourself, right? When you give away everything for free. And I really feel like it's an energy exchange. Like even if it's a trade or even if it's just a little bit, and like, we were always sensitive to like where people are at, different budgets and things like that. But it's also like we want to um, we want to work with people who find value in our work. It's like the things we prioritize and the things we spend our money on, right? So the people spending money on shoes and handbags and things like that, like may not find value in $150 Reiki session, right? But like, I don't know, people like us, I can speak for ourselves. We spend most of our money on things like that, events, past life readings, Reiki, hypnosis, breath work, sound
Sound
baths.
and
Like all of our money goes to those
yeah.
things. And like it's all investing in ourselves. So not everybody understands that, but like I we feel so lucky that the people around us are like all these amazing like healers, right? So it's like we rather give money to people that are just similar to us, like-minded, normal, just everyday people who are just making a living. We love like investing and giving our money to people, to support people and doing similar things that we're doing, just trying to like make the world a little bit better, right? So
Mhm,
I think charging is just vital, and energy exchange, like it just doesn't work, right? I've had friendships and relationships and connections where you just give and give and give. And like the universe just, that's not how energy works. Like the universe will rip that person out of your life if you just keep giving to them and they don't give back, right? It finds a way to separate you. So it's like if you value that connection, it's like you have to give, it has to be reciprocated, right? So you
mhm.
can only
You have
be
to
taken
nurture it.
advantage of for so long, like the universe will only let it happen for so long. So whether
Mhm.
you like it or not, like that energy has to be exchanged or else it just doesn't balance out. So that's my theory on it, like just that reciprocation and energy balance.
What occurred to me while you were sharing that, which I think is very insightful, is it's when you have somebody that's on the side that's give, 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 right? You're not getting your cup filled. And so
Exactly.
as you get depleted and more depleted, your energy gets lower and lower and lower. And that's probably a pretty good sign that that relationship is maybe not the best relationship. If the people that are in whatever the relationship is, it doesn't matter if it's, you know, family, friends, lovers, whatever. If they're not willing to meet you halfway, at
Mhm.
least, Some days will be a little more, some days will be a little less, but generally aim for meeting halfway.
Yeah.
Then it's probably time to let them move on because you're
Right.
probably your vibrations, your energy vibrations are changing, right? As you're
Mm-hmm.
vibrating up, if they're not coming with you, that's where we kind of start to see that
Yes.
where they start to
Yeah, like
follow.
yes, that's another great topic. It's just like just how the frequency alignment, right? Like you are connected to people and then all of a sudden they fall off and you're like, why? And then sometimes it feels like you can't keep people around for too long, but it's probably because you're constantly ascending and people don't want to always grow, they feel they want to stay where they're comfortable and that's okay, but like just know that's why you're not aligned and why your friendship is not sustainable because one person is constantly going like this and then the other is just staying there or even regressing, right? So it's like just again, energy doesn't work like that. So the more we just know that it is what it is, like the easier to go with this, it's easier to go with that flow of life and not resist or be mad or angry or resentful that you're losing these connections, because you're always going to build more with the people you are aligned with. And even if it's for a short season, we're always here to like teach each other things, even if it's just for like a week or a month. It's like you're in
Mhm.
alignment for that moment.
It made me think of like a magnet, when you're aligned and how you put a magnet
Yeah.
together and it like snaps
Yes.
in really quickly and it's like locked. But
Hmm.
if you like turn it to the opposite side, how it like fights and it
Yes.
won't like go together.
Yes. It won't. It just won't.
Yeah,
That's not how energy
that's-
works.
yeah,
When you're too
yeah. That's
opposite.
totally
Yeah.
yes. So
They
when you're
pull
not
apart.
aligned, you're like the backsides of the magnets fighting it.
And and we all know what that's like to like hang on to somebody, because you just love them and then it's like, dang, I know that they're not like growing, but and I know they might even be toxic, but it's like I love them and you don't want to let them go, but it's like you don't have a choice because like the universe literally like that what Kim is saying, like you can't stay connected because you're not on the
Hmm.
same frequency. So you have to just release them, and then releasing them sometimes will help them ascend, and then you are on the same. So that's why the separation is important sometimes with connections. But just
Hmm.
remember when some people let you go and then want you back, it's not always a sign. Like some people that choose to let you go for the wrong reasons are not always deserving to come back into your life.
Yeah. Should we maybe do a little Reiki?
Sure.
What do you
I
think?
don't know. Yeah, is Elliot, are you still here? Elliot and Joe? Are you? Yeah, I don't know if you say you're feeling tired and drained. Yeah, let's do a little bit. So we can play like Reiki music. I think that's okay when there's no words. I'll put on a little bit in the background. I found this, I emailed it to you, Kim, but I found this super beautiful Reiki like music and it's like ocean and it's just like the visual is just beautiful too. It's just
Oh,
ocean
it
and like
sounds like
beautiful
it's right up
women.
my alley.
What's that?
I said it sounds like it's right up my alley.
It
You said you
totally,
emailed it?
yeah. I
Okay.
emailed it to you. Yeah, it's called Higher Conscious Meditation. It's on my Reiki playlist, y'all, and it's public, so y'all can find it. I think I put it at the top of my Reiki playlist. It's just yeah, it's so beautiful. But anyways, I'll play this music.
Okay.
Playing with an owl, Elliot, a real one. You would be hanging out with
Oh
him.
no, is the owl is that speaker thing? Is that what you're talking about? I'm
Oh,
curious.
what's up, Joe?
Hi, Joe.
Okay, wait. So let me share these events just this week. Can we just share
Oh,
briefly?
those speaker things are really, really cool.
Okay, yeah. Here, I'll,
Sorry, we
it's
digress.
okay. So this week we have, let's see, today is, so tomorrow, let's see, Wednesday, we have our first Reiki share at Leja, the first of the month. And then Saturday we have a new Renaissance Reiki Reiki pop up. And then Friday, before Saturday, we have sound bath and Reiki. Joe, that'd be cool. Both of you guys should go to the Friday one. I think is the one that would be really cool to have you guys at. Friday, sound bath and Reiki. So I might be free. Yeah, I might be free to like swoop you up, Joe. All right, let's do this Reiki. Let's give you guys a couple minutes of Reiki.
If things come up during this, we'll probably speak it out.
Yeah.
If that's okay with everybody. If you would prefer that we don't comment on anything for you personally, please just let us know that here in the chat, just so we can respect your privacy.
Yeah, and we can just say message whoever it resonates with, you can kind of pick up on that, but we'll let you know if we get anything for the collective here. So go ahead and take a deep breath, y'all. Close your eyes. Join us in a little meditation. Take a deep breath in, relax, and settle into your body. You guys have a really beautiful, strong energy in here tonight. Yeah. Relax all parts of your body. Notice any parts where there's tension and release that tension. Relax your hands, your ankles, your jaws. Take this moment to clear your mind. Let the day go and take these couple minutes to relax and let everything go.
I'm getting a message. Some one of us is dealing with some kind of financial situation. I'm seeing papers with money, dollar signs falling toward the papers. And I'm getting a message that says to trust your gut, trust your wisdom, follow your wisdom, um, read the contract carefully before you make your decision. Look for any small clause that may not agree with what you're trying to accomplish.
And make sure that you're speaking your mind and asserting yourself, and don't hold back whatever is in your heart and on your mind. Like, trust your intuition. I'm getting like needing to clear your throat chakra.
Yeah, I'm getting like feeling like I have to swallow hard right now.
Yeah, like don't swallow your words or your thoughts and opinions. what you have to say is valuable, so speak up.
I'm picking up the energy of very, very proud of your children or your child. I'm seeing like um, a male child in particular, something as they've done something that really remarkable in your mind recently, and um,
Yeah, chills.
they
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
they want you to know that they love you very, 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 very much, and the pride that you're feeling that makes them happy.
Yes, they very much want like like validation, assurance, and your what's that word? Like from parent to child. I can't think of
Mm.
the word, but yeah, they want to know that like you're proud of them. So that means a lot to them when you express that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just got chills up my spine.
Yeah, I got leg chills. I'm feeling like air in my stomach, my like right side. So air in the stomach, like trapped air, could be like emotional, mental, or spiritual imbalance that your body's trying to communicate, needing to release suppressed emotion or energy blockages. And especially on the right side. The right side is where we carry anger and frustration. So trying to clear that and balance that out. I'm feeling like, yeah, heaviness and the heart center.
Yeah, I'm feeling is a sense that we really kind of need to bring some grounding in. I'm getting like kind of little shoots of chaotic thoughts that keep popping around.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, so if you're feeling chaotic, you can envision like roots grounding you. In an earlier Reiki session, I saw like ivory ropes, which is like, I don't know what that was. Like ivory ropes, I guess it's like a divine, um, like divine grounding. Like, ivory ropes represent purity, wisdom, unity, and protection. Ground yourself with roots, ropes, earth, soil, sand.
Is I'm getting a sense that somebody's getting ready to relocate or making a move or
You're tapping into somebody specific.
am I?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing a move, and that's where this paper is like I'm showing a paper is being shoved at me.
Mhm.
So whoever this person is that's making the move, I think that earlier message probably
Yeah.
pertains.
Mhm.
So just read the contracts carefully. You don't need to be
Yeah,
nervous.
knowing that, like what's that?
I'm getting a sense that this person feels nervous, and I'm just, you don't need to be nervous. This is the
Yeah,
right
that's
thing
what I was
to do.
about to say, yeah. Is, like, know that things will fall into place and that you don't have to have everything planned out right now, but that if you're being called to relocate, that, it's something that is on your path and that is meant to be, and that things will work themselves out, and know yeah, just make plans one at a time, and the rest will just happen like we said earlier, right?
Yeah, I'm hearing monitor stress. It's for whatever reason it's very important for you to keep your stress as low as possible.
Mhm. You don't want to put that stress energy into your relocating. Just think positive and think of positive outcomes and don't try to control outcomes. Go with the flow. Yeah, so getting like a tightness in my stomach and breathing is like the anxiety around it, just thinking about it and it's overwhelming. But take it one step at a time and yeah, again, know that things will work themselves out. Releasing that worry energy.
Um, Elliot, I'm sensing the anxiety that you're feeling about this experience that you've had this week, and I would invite you to take some gentle breaths right now, breathing gently in through your nose, out through your mouth, again in through your nose and out.
Remember, yeah, breathe, ground, meditate daily, even if it's just 5 minutes a day. Stay grounded, connected to the earth, touch grass.
Mm. The energy I'm seeing is beautiful. It's it's this majestic purple and blue and green, just like almost like an aurora.
Mm, pretty. I'm hearing like crickets chirping. So the crickets chirping is like a sign of good luck, spiritual guidance, reminding you to trust your intuition and embrace change.
That's for you, Elliot.
Spiritual guidance. What's
I
that?
feel that message is directly for Elliot.
Mhm.
Is DK still with us?
DK. We do have 3 people here. I'm not sure. Is DK still here? Maybe they'll watch it later.
I'm picking up an energy of coming out of a period of confusion, or I am sensing that DK is I feel like it's DK.
Mhm.
There's confusion about what you're experiencing right now with you, and you're curious about um, the awakening that we've been talking about, but you're skeptical, which is very normal. I would invite you to be gentle with yourself, have grace, and know that what you're feeling is perfectly normal, and every single person has felt it or is feeling it as well.
Wow, that's cool, Elliot. You're listening to crickets. Also, you see this grasshopper behind me? I saw the grasshopper this week. I'm getting a stiffness in my left neck, stiffness in your left neck can represent blocked energy or communication. If you're holding back any emotions, emotional resistance, fear of vulnerability, or a blockage in your ability to express your true self. Let us know if that resonates for any of you. Resistance to change, need for flexibility. Oh, I lost Kim for a second. She'll probably be right back. Her Wi Fi probably cut out. Do you guys have any questions? Any Reiki questions? So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that Reiki. Hopefully it'll help you get some good sleep. Welcome back. I will be right back.
Hmm.
I will be right back. Yes, I'm just gonna leave.
Bring everyone back to the present. Have everybody take a breath in and release. And breathe in and release. And when you're ready, if you had your eyes closed, feel free to go ahead and gently open them. And if anybody would like to share their experience, we'd love to hear what you felt, whether it was a physical sensation or maybe just relaxed. Thank you, Elliot. Elliot says it definitely added to my piece. I love that. Hi, Jessica. Welcome. It's good to have you. Jessica, where are you joining us from tonight?
What you guys up to? Okay, let's see.
Yeah, that was good. I felt a really good, strong connection in the energy circle.
Oh, there's somebody else here named Jessica Elliott.
Yeah, I just said hello to Jessica.
Yeah, hi.
She's from Tennessee. My uncle lives in Tennessee. I haven't been there
Awesome.
yet.
I
I would like to get out there. I hear it's so pretty. Are you near the Smoky Mountains?
That's awesome. Cool. Yes, we love to
So
go
it's got to be, what
worldwide.
time is it there? What time is it here?
It's 10:30 here.
Okay.
That's awesome,
Elliot says,
Elliot.
I
Yeah,
could
the
feel a
Reiki.
gentle flowing downward from head to ground. Awesome.
Yes, the Reiki energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
What the visualization is everything. It helps. It's everything. I always say use the visualizations. It's very powerful. Um, I kind of wanted to go back to one of the topics that we had left was like our experience just being ourselves and maybe how people have treated us or made us feel because we're different. Um, so yeah, I think that's significant, and a lot of people could probably relate. Is just have being gifted or going through experiences.
I
Is
love
just
that.
it just like makes you feel sometimes just different and like you don't belong. But anytime like in jobs growing up, I always felt like I was it was always hard for me to fit in, and I honestly didn't know if it was just because I was brown. I thought that was mostly why. But then also adding, being different and having gifts and just being tapped into
I'm having a
spirituality.
hard time hearing you. I don't know if anybody else is.
Oh, maybe if I turn down the music a little bit. That better?
Try it again.
Um, it could just be the Wi-Fi.
Maybe. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you can go. I don't want to not. Yeah,
Do what you want.
yeah. If I don't know if people can hear me,
I don't know if people
but
can hear you. I'm having a hard time. Can you hear me okay?
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So Jessica is saying that she is about 4 hours from the Smokies.
Mm,
That's amazing.
cool.
I'm gonna get out there before long. I want to go see my uncle anyway.
Okay, you can hear me, Elliot. Yeah. Sometimes it's just between me and you, it can sound a little quiet, but
Right.
um. Okay, good. Thank you. But yeah, so growing up, I always felt like it was hard to fit into like I noticed it a lot at work. Like it was always hard for me to, and I didn't understand why because I felt like I was always friendly, and I didn't know why people like felt like they couldn't really be my friend. Like they would be friends with other people, but they couldn't like they wouldn't want to get close to me. But then as I grew into myself, um, I felt like I felt like, I realized that it's also because of my gifts and because I see through people and they don't like that. And I can see pretty much I can see through all the BS, and I learned that like that's a lot of people don't want to be seen like that, you know. So
Yeah. There's truth in that. There's truth in that. I've spent many, many years um, shrinking into small places because I didn't feel like I could be seen or heard, and It's because I was different, right? And I say different because I marched to my own beat. I didn't necessarily fall prey to the cliques in growing up, or you know, um I don't I'm kind of funny. I believe in rules, but I also don't. And I
Same.
know that sounds really
That's
kind
probably
of
why we
weird,
get
but
'em.
it's
I
like
believe in
I
rules
believe
so
that
that I know
rules
when
need
to
to
break
be.
them.
We need to have guidelines, right? I get that. We
Yeah.
do need to have guidelines. But I don't think that we need to be micromanaged, I guess. And I feel like much of our world is very micromanaging. And so I like kind of like reject that. And that's always not sat well with people.
Yeah,
I
same.
tend to be a little like, I don't sugarcoat things. Right. And so
Mhm.
that's another thing that kind of puts people off, which is actually a strength in our partnership as well,
Yeah.
in that sometimes I will deliver a message that I would not think anything of it. I would just think I was making a comment, right? Or
Mhm.
something, or making a suggestion or something. And I can step on toes and people can get hurt, and you can gracefully come in and keep me from falling, right? And you can like soften the blow and re-deliver the message. But yeah, so I've encountered some haters. I'm sure all of us on here have encountered haters in the world, right?
Yeah, when you speak your mind and you say what you think, like people either love it or hate it. And so it's nice to attract people that lean towards it and that are like-minded and that are direct and transparent. And yeah, I feel like I've manifested relationships. Like I feel like I've manifested like the relationships that are more like me, and people that are just
Mhm.
more honest and real, like hence our partnership. And I've always just wanted connections like that where I could be raw and just be like, like, what are you doing? Or like, what are you talking about? You're crazy. And then just like, oh, why does this have to end our friendship just because I called you out on something? Because, it's like we're all human. We're not perfect. So it's okay to be like imperfect all the time. And like, as long as you're just respecting people and being a decent human, like it's okay to like mess up sometimes.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's what I used to think was a curse. I find to now be my strength and my gifts, my authenticity. Um, so that's been something that's been part of my journey of my awakening, is that I'm I have learned and I'm embracing showing up as my authentic self every day. And where I used to worry about how I was perceived, I can comfortably today say, I accept who I am and I really kind of like who I am. So I'm okay with, if, what other people think of me truly, really is none of my business,
Yeah.
truly. So,
Yeah. At this point. At this
so
point, yeah,
Jessica was saying that she's been going through a spiritual awakening.
yeah.
I would love to hear more about that. Like, what's it been like for you? When did it start? Would love to hear
Yeah.
some of the details if you're wanting to share.
Oh, I see that. Yeah. I am very soft spoken. Sorry. But yeah, you were asking how do you manifest that, Jessica? How do you manifest like people, like I was saying, like people that are like-minded and authentic and raw? I think being authentic and raw yourself, so you manifest who you are, right? So like if you want honest people and you want people that are transparent, you just be that yourself, right? And then that vibration attracts in similar vibrations, but only when you're like truly in that. I mean, you don't have to be like 100% perfect all the time, but as long as that's your intention all the time, and you truly live that, then yeah, like we said, you just attract people who are similar. But yeah, we're curious about your
You know, I also
listen.
think I also think it's speaking of curious, I think it is getting curious with yourself. It's like I stopped over analyzing myself and I stopped like I don't know, I just was like, I'm a pretty cool person. Why would I not like think that? Why would I
Yeah.
keep moshing myself down? And so it was more like, and I will say this, I did start early on. I did the mantras, the positive affirmations, and I said the words um, because everybody kept saying initially, right? Fake it till you make it.
Mhm.
The more you say it, the more it becomes, and I did all of that too, and it helped. Um, but when it became not an exercise for me, but a way of life, was when the words actually finally went from here, I get it, I hear what you're saying, to here,
Mhm.
I feel it. This is
Yeah.
who I am.
I thought
And
about you
so
saying that
that's where
too.
I think like that connection, you have to kind of get to that connection.
Like you feel it in your body. Yeah. It's like, what does grateful feel like? Like I felt that today in, I think it was a breathwork class. David told us to think of a time. I love David's like prompts and
I really can't hear you. I hope
I know,
everybody else can.
so good. And but yeah,
Unfortunately,
so what's that?
I said I really can't hear you, so I hope that
Oh,
everybody else can.
oh, okay. What was I saying? I was just saying that, like, yeah, that feeling the gratefulness in your body, like when those words were spoken, I could hear it, I could feel it like in my heart space, and
Hmm.
so I think that's different than just like thinking of the words and not feeling any connection. So
So let's go back to
Jessica,
Jessica. She's sharing her story with us, and I'm very curious. It says, started. It started when I almost died last year on May 2nd. And I seen like this spiritual thing. I know it's going to sound weird. No, it does not, to me anyway. But I seen somebody fighting with the demon that was trying to take me. Nice.
mhm,
And when those people show up, choose them. And as they were saying earlier, making space, cleaning out the folks that don't fit who you want to be. Yep, yep. And to my death because I wasn't right within my own heart, yes. And I followed my journey since then, going through multiple moral recognition and therapy classes and rebaptism. Started it on the first message. I apologize, I'm using speech to text. No worries. Yes, to the mantras. I am affirmations from Elliot. I am affirmation. Yes, excellent, you guys. That's it. I mean, seriously, it's really it starts right here. It starts with love. It starts with self-love. Yeah, absolutely. This is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you everybody for sharing all of this with us. I love it. Hmm. What a powerful evening.
yeah. So like I said, we'll hop on more lives, and sometimes we'll just come on live and hang out just like this, and just talk about Reiki and do, you can get to know us and vice versa. So it's not too different from, it'll actually be just like this. But like with the pod, we have topics also embedded in. So
And we do
like,
want to have guests. Eventually, we
yeah.
plan to have some guests. In
Hmm.
fact, my mentor had said at one point that he would come on and be a guest, and I think I would absolutely love to do that. He's just one of the most
Yeah.
fascinating people.
Yeah. So tune in every Sunday. We're hoping to continue this every Sunday, sometimes maybe more. We might release 2 episodes a week. But yeah. our schedule is pretty full. So maybe once a week, once or twice a week will be good. But if you guys have any topics that you want us to touch on, like feel free to leave comments and we'll definitely put it on the agenda and then join us and you can chat with us live.
Yep, for sure. Many blessings to everybody.
Thank you for tuning in, guys. Like I said, if you're local, we have 2 events this week on Wednesday at La Joie, Saturday at New Renaissance, and Friday, also, I don't know, I keep going backwards. Friday, sound bath at the Q Center. So
Come on out, y'all. Have some Reiki.
yeah. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good night, and we will catch you next time. Have a good week, everybody.
Blessings.